Hello and welcome to Book Launch Tuesday, the best thing to happen on Tuesday since tacos. It is I, your acquisitions editor, SG George, and welcome to the book launch for The Malice of Moons and Mages by N.B. Haskell. As the dual lunar eclipses approach, a desperate thief and an outcast mage must establish a truth before the animosity between the peoples destabilizes the world of magic. And this time, the world might not recover. How are you doing today, Nicole?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Good. And also joining us today is Miss Kelly Lynn Colby, copy editor and editorial director.
Hello.
And are you going to read the bio? Did we pull up the bio? Are we doing the bio?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have the honor of reading N.V. Haskell's bio. So she just gets to sit there and look nervous. She's excited, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay. N.V. Haskell returned to writing in 2019 after many years away. Since then, she's published numerous short stories and won the Writers of the Future contest. Whoop, whoop. She lives somewhere between suburbia and haunted her long-suffering spouse, rescue dog, and generations of birds, groundhogs, and squirrels that she can't help but feed. After many years in healthcare, she remains stubbornly optimistic. And that's saying something. When she's not hiking or staring at a screen, you can find her incognito at comic expos or Renaissance fairs.
Nice.
Look, you're one of us.
So, yes, it is your book birthday, your debut book birthday. If you have any questions in the chat, welcome chats, welcome. I believe we have twitch.tv, we have got Facebook, we have got YouTube. Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. We wouldn't be able to do this if you guys weren't here. So if you have any questions for Nicole about anything that we talk about today, drop them in your respective chats and we will make sure that she gives you answers, the answers you want, the answers you need.
Or the answers she feels like giving you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you would like to order a copy of The Malice of Moons and Mages, the first book in the series, use !book in at least one of the chats, and it'll pull up the Amazon page, or you can order it wherever books are sold. So, Miss Nicole, this is your debut novel. How does it go?
Good. Very good, actually. It's been a long haul getting here, and it's exciting and a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it's all good.
But this is not your debut into publishing, because you may or may not have won the Writers of the Future contest. She's got a
I don't even know if you could
trophy there.
Yeah.
How did winning that change the way that you view writing in general, but also your writing?
So I started writing in 2019 after I had a hip surgery that really put me off work for several months. And I was really frustrated and literally I started writing a novel, and I got bored. I was like, I'm just going to write a book, thinking that it was like, I'd never done it before. I'm like, I'll just write a book. 75,000 words of like the worst thing you've ever read in your life. So I was like, I should probably learn how to do this. And then I looked around, like maybe I should start with short fiction. So came across the contest just through like a Google search, and they were putting out a video at the time to like kind of help new writers, like how to structure a short story, what they were looking for. And so of course, being the bold, naive kind of idiot that I am, I just cold emailed David Farland, who was the main contest judge at the time, because I'm like, he seems like a nice guy. I'll just email him and see if this is legit and if this can help me, because
you are so gutsy.
And he was very right. Yeah. So he was very kind in his response, and was like very kind, honestly. Like I would say that he was my first writing mentor. So I went ahead and sent a story, and then got that quickly rejected. Thank goodness. I sent the worst story knowing it would be rejected, so I could just rip the Band-Aid off. Like I just wanted to.
Smart.
I didn't want to get my hopes up. Let's just make it real. So got the rejection, and then the next one, that was the only rejection I got in the contest. The rest were all HMs or silver honorables. And then I ended up winning on my 7th admission, which I did not expect. That was part of my, I think I've said this before, that was part of my 5 or 10-year plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to hone my craft here, and then, maybe someday I'll do well in it. And then, and I won it like in 2.5 years, which I was not expecting. But I will say, so going there, winning that was honestly, okay, so funny story, this is me getting on a tangent. Okay, so funny story, I was taking a class, I can't remember which online writer's course I was taking, but I was sitting in a class on imposter syndrome. Call from Joni Labaki, who is the one who calls all the winners. And I literally like put the screen on mute, and I walked away to answer this phone call, and she told me I'd won 3rd place, and I argued with her. I didn't.
Are you sure it's me?
It's like, yeah, it was really funny. I mean, in hindsight, it was like, I just totally did not believe that this was
it on April 1st?
Not part of my plan to happen so quickly. So yeah, I told her, no, you're wrong. Like a bold idiot, right? So yeah, so I ended up winning 3rd place, and then they flew me out to LA, and I spent a week-long intensive with literally all my peers. There are still some of my closest friends. It was a once in a lifetime experience. I've met writers from all over the world, because it was right as COVID was kind of winding down. So all the international winners from the past 2 years hadn't been able to come, so they came in with our group. So I have writing friends who are in England and Poland and Australia, and I'm very grateful for the entire experience. Never mind the fact that we got to learn from Kevin J. Anderson and Robert Sawyer and Gregory Brentford, and I mean Larry Niven, for God's sake. Like I met Larry Niven.
It's impressive.
And Dean Wesley Smith, and it was just, I mean, it was pretty amazing, honestly. Like, I didn't expect to be in a room. Okay, funny enough, the people that intimidated me were Todd McCaffrey, because I grew up reading Anne McCaffrey. She was the first writing that I fell in love with, and like, this was Todd McCaffrey. This was like,
he's so approachable, though. Surely you figured that out quickly,
like,
right? Yeah.
The most laid back, chill guy, like the least intimidating person you could ever. Yep. But for whatever reason, I froze around him, and then
I love that.
So I learned so much from that experience. I learned that it kind of helped me break through a little bit of the imposter syndrome. Not all of it, because I'm still nervous here, right? But like, I still don't read reviews. But it was such a great experience, and I really am grateful for everything that it provided, honestly.
It's fabulous. High endorsement for all of you writers out there really trying to make it.
Yeah, it was great, honestly. I have not a negative thing to say. The people were all lovely. Contest was great. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Send the first thing that you ever write to the writers of the future. That is exactly how you win.
Get your rejection over with.
That's actually smart.
She's
expecting.
Wait for it.
Yeah, I love it.
Huh?
That's it. Well, the real lesson there, right, is just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I knew that I didn't know what to do, and I knew I needed to learn how to do it, and I wasn't going to get better unless I practiced and actually took proactive steps to learn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. That actually leads right to Len's question. Did you see it, Sarah?
Yeah. He's asking, is Nicole's pen name supposed to make us envious of her tenacity?
Sure. No. So the V in there is actually for, I've been, how do I say this? How do I say this and keep myself incognito, but not really? The V is a family name.
Ah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Even though on Instagram you do have envy, like ENVY.
Yes.
So
because
I don't know. I don't think this is past
taken.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it looks
this
like
is way better marketing anyway.
Not humble. I'm like, yeah, envy. No, that's not it at all. It's like, yeah,
I like it.
We use phonetics instead.
And Bart has a question on YouTube.
I can't read the YouTube.
It says, when is the sequel being released?
About
Obviously,
a year from now.
People are anxious.
I know.
We're working on it.
Yes, it's done actually, but I kind of held myself back for a little bit. So the book 2 has been written in sections. So I started writing it before Cursed Dragon Ship picked up book 1. And so with all these rounds of edits, I decided to wait. And then I went back and threw out 20,000 words and then started over. And then I was like, okay, another round of edits. Okay, I'm going to wait. And then it's been kind of piecemealed apart. I held myself back in a little place, and I think I need to dig deeper because I think Sarah will make me do that anyway when she reads it.
Probably.
Yes. And then I need to clean up some of the minor plot points that either need to be ripped out completely, or delved into a little deeper. I will tell you guys, it is now finally under 100,000 words. So
Hallelujah.
okay, it's 99,899 words.
The
That's
first
under,
thing,
it counts.
the first thing I'm
mistake.
gonna do when you send it to me is I'm gonna say cut 15%.
I know. I'm trying to work it out beforehand.
Yeah, under 100, it's good.
Yeah. Now you've got a foot in the door.
So I have a question
So
for you guys. So
yeah,
if we add in a glossary this next time, that doesn't add. Does that add to the word count?
That does not. Nope,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay.
no, that's probably a good thing because
Yeah, 'cause I had a few not beta readers, but ARC readers kind of reach out and kind of said that next time they would appreciate that. So I'll probably work on getting that together too,
Perfect.
because I know it is a complicated world system.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the stuff I love.
So we have a very colorful cast of characters in the Malice of Moons and Mages, including our 2 leads. But our audience is going to get to know them when they use exclamation point book to buy the book anywhere books are sold. So who is your favorite minor character in the book?
Ooh. I mean, you're talking. Okay, so I have lots of points of views. Are you talking about characters that are not point of view characters?
Anybody who's not a point of view character. You can't just make every minor character a point of view character, Nicole.
Why not? No. they all have meaning. They're all special in my heart. I would say, Zin is my favorite minor character.
Yeah.
And you learn more about that character in book 2, honestly.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I always like family dynamics in books, which is one of the reasons why we like this book a lot, because there's so much family dynamic. And so having such an aunt, which is not a character archetype that you normally see have such a big role in Audra's life and such a big personality, is fantastic.
Yeah, and she's definitely got her agenda, and she's a bit she's not really a gentle person by nature. It's not in her scope. But
yeah, she's
she
not the
reared
sweet
these
aunt that
children,
brings
so.
you a cookie.
No.
No, she's not. No. Maybe some charred meat.
But what good would that do Audra anyways, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Kelly, did you have a favorite minor character?
I always forget names. Anyone who's watched me on this always knows I forget names. But I remember images. They pop up to my head. I think my favorite character is his sister's.
Anchor?
Yes.
Bolin.
I wanted to say lover, right? Bolin, yes.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I would love like a short story just about him. His relationships, his life, the choices he's had to make, really complicated in a very satisfying way, and I adored him.
You will love his arc in book 2.
Oh, yay!
Or you won't, but you'll see more.
No.
You'll get more of him. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I adored him. I mean, I could read a whole book with him. He's just fascinating to me. But part of that is being a side character too, right? Because you don't know all the things about them. You don't know everything they're thinking, right? So some of that also is the fascination of a little bit of mystery makes them really fascinating too.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the hardest part of the book to write?
You mean the first time or the rewrites?
Anytime you
Yes. The first time and the rewrite. We got like an hour to
Well,
fill.
you all probably remember this because I pushed back. So, and you guys were right. Like I will 100% own that. You were absolutely 100% right.
It happens
My
sometimes.
favorite chapter is about middle of the book, and I had written it from a not very good character's or not the main character's point of view, but it's a pivotal scene,
Mhm.
and I had to rewrite it to Audra's point of view, and it was the correct decision. But rewriting it, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. It was like the only time I've been like wanted to stop my foot and be like, no, but it was right.
It's
So
just
that was
that
hard,
emotional
but
impact.
Yeah.
yes, you were 100% correct.
Maybe it's because you were so upset with us, it really came through. See?
No, it wasn't it. I should have written it that way the first time, is really what it was. Like, they're right, and I should have known better the first time. Yeah.
We
I
never
know.
know when we're writing it, for heaven's sakes, right? We don't know. That's why we need editors.
So that's
why we
why I
did it.
could be a writer. I'm not humble enough to be edited the same way that Nicole is. Nicole is fantastic as a author to be edited, by the way. Like, we're just gonna throw that out there, which is probably why the book came out fantastic. But yeah, no, we made her jump through so many hoops and change so many points of view, and she took it much more gracefully than I think I would have.
Ultimately, so the reason I mean, I appreciate that your vision for the book is the same as mine, and I can also see that I'm too close to it to see it objectively. So when you come back to me with like, this isn't working, I can be like, I can see why you'd say that, especially from an editorial standpoint and from, just the publishing standpoint. Like, you're absolutely right. So yeah, I try to be cooperative and see things from your perspective, because ultimately I know we're all working towards the same goal, right? Like, yeah. It's very, very rare that I will put my foot down and be like, and usually it's over something minor, like, no, that is an M dash. Like, that's the hill I will die on. It's like, no, these are M dashes, not semicolons.
Well, it's fun and easy when the goal to work towards is so fantastic anyway. Like, this was a fantastic book when I got it. And one of the things that made it so fantastic was the magic system. Like, having such a unique magic system really sets this book apart from everything else in the genre. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about the magic system and what inspired it?
Oh gosh. What did inspire it? That's crazy. Actually, I know what inspired it. So this will come up later when you guys ask me what what I watch. So I watch a lot of C dramas, you guys. Like, I'm not joking. Like, a lot. Like, I have subscription channels to multiple C drama and K drama. So there is a particular show called Love Between Fairy and Devil, which I was watching at the time, and it really inspired like the pivotal scene. And so there's there's an accident that happens at the beginning of the show where these two people who are very different kind of get like stuck together. They switch bodies. And I started thinking, and if something happens to one of them, it happens to the other one, right?
Mhm.
It takes them a while to figure it out. And I was like, what would that look like with an actual magic system and not like, a deity and a human type situation? And then I started thinking, okay, so what if one of these people was like their life force was a battery or like a repository for this other person's magic, like, and slowly drained them? Like, what would that look like? But they're bonded, so again, that makes them their strongest and their weakest point, right? So whoever they pick has to be exceptionally strong and able to defend themselves in times of peril. So that's kind of where it started. And then I started thinking, well, what would that look like as a magic? Like, what would that look like in the air? Can you see it? The bond between them? So that's kind of where it all started. And then it started, I like the thought of ropes and threads and yarns and things that can be thrown out and controlled in that way.
That's awesome. And color is a really big part of the magic system too. How did you decide who got what color?
So we've got the moon tribes, so there's two moons, Song and Silence. One is kind of this Song is this pale yellow, smaller moon, and then Silence's bigger, kind of bluish tint. So from those, you get the moon tribes. Their magic system have two different colors. One's silver, which is associated with more the bigger moon, and then one is more of a gray, so kind of darker, which goes along with the smaller moon. And then the other tribe, the other major tribe at this point, is the Starling tribe, which is associated with their sun, their star. And so, of course, that's yellowish gold. And then you have the Western mages, whose magic only appears a little bit in this, but their magic is green. And then that's associated, there's a big ring around the planet that was once a moon that is broken, and it's green. So their magic is green. So, yeah.
So definitely not on Earth then.
No.
Yeah, that confused me for a long time reading it.
No,
until
I'm
you went
sorry.
through and cleaned it. I was like, what is this ring thing? So, but it's gorgeous now. It makes sense.
And I didn't want to info dump it, so I'm like, how do I describe this and make it work without being like, this is a ring around the planet? You know, like,
just tell us, it's fine.
Now imagine Saturn, but green.
Right.
No, but see, not Saturn, just the ring.
Just the ring. Yeah.
That's why I was confused. Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of has a life of its own as far as like how it rotates, and there's thinner parts and thicker parts, and yeah.
Awesome.
No, I love it. And Bard says, yes, great world building.
Fantastic world building. And there is a lot of family drama in this book, which I think I'm going to ask you what inspired it, and I think it's going to be K-dramas. But there's two sets of siblings in this world, or at the heart of the story that are sort of mirrors of each other, where one set of siblings is trying their best to heal each other, and the others are doing their best to kill each other. So what inspired the two different sibling dynamics, and which K-drama was it?
Honestly, that's just how it worked out as I was writing it. It wasn't like I didn't, as I was writing in the sister, Lua's sister, as my main villain, and then I started thinking about what could make it. My goal when I'm writing is how can I make it worse on my character? Like the worst thing I could think of was like, let's just have it be her missing brother. This will be great. So yeah. I'm a pantser. That first draft is always pants, and then I got to go back and tear out the things that don't work.
We have quite a few of those at CDS. It's all good.
Yeah. I thank you.
It works though, and there's some philosophy behind it that, and especially for romance or a romantasy, that pantsing creates strong characters while plotting creates strong endings. And so when you go back and you edit it, and if you do it good, you get the best of both. But in that first draft, especially for a romance, and a romance as soulful and round as this one, doing your pantsing first draft, I think has really done wonders for you. Are any of the places in the book inspired by places that you have visited or that you want to
Actually, yes. So Callaway, which is where this whole story starts, it's this island. I would say that was inspired by my husband and I renewed our vows several years ago, and we went to Bora Bora and Tahiti, and so it was kind of inspired by Tahiti, and then some of the culture in Bora Bora. I actually like. There's this whole philosophy like, on an island, you have to work together, and you can't. If you're a criminal on an island, you're not going anywhere. That's the whole point of it. Like, you can't go anywhere. Like, we'll find you because there's nowhere for you to go. Yeah.
You have to be sneakier.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes that's a little dirty job.
There's plenty of sneaky characters in this, let me say.
Yes. Yeah.
So continue.
No, go ahead.
The book is getting fantastic early reviews. But we got one that pointed out that Audra's hair grows far too fast. At the very beginning, she shaves it off, and at the end, we describe how cute her haircut is. And this occurred because we shortened the time frame of the book quite significantly. So how do you keep little things like that straight-ish in the editing process?
Wait. I think we just need to add a magic reason why her hair grew for book 2.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be an Easter egg.
I'm going to address that, you guys. So I mentioned multiple times for both Audra and her brother how quickly their hair grows.
Ha!
It's in there multiple times. That was done intentionally.
Good, I feel better because Sarah and I were like, how did we miss that?
And if you think about the other mages, they never cut their hair.
Yeah.
The moon mages never cut their hair. So something with the magic makes hair grow a little faster. The metabolism's a little.
Well then it's not an editing mistake. We didn't.
It was not an editing. No, it was an intentional. Yeah, I'm glad they picked up on it. So yay, thank you.
Yeah, so Sarah and I feel much better right now. Thank you, Nicole.
No, that was intentional on my part. Yeah.
See, it's not. With some people would say, "Oh, the curtains are just blue." No, the curtains aren't blue. There is actually a reason behind this.
Yeah, there was a reason. There is a reason.
There you go.
And the reason is magic, because that's why we read these.
Yeah.
Zepho says she's not just the president, she's also a customer. I think it's client though, isn't it? Yeah. That's for our generation. Nicole and I know what that's from.
Yeah, nothing. Whoop.
Sarah's like, what? It's a commercial. You've missed nothing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So that review, wrong. We were fantastic. But this is your first time dealing with reviews in general. So how has that process been as well?
So I made a rule for myself after Writers of the Future that I was not going to read any reviews, because there was somebody who did a review of several of my friends' stories, and it was a negative review, and then they tagged them in it. And so they tagged me in it, and I was already warned, like, don't read it. So I didn't read it. So I don't tend to read reviews unless it's kind of somebody that is, I'm not as jaded anymore. Now I assume if they're tagging me, it's probably a positive. But I don't go seek them out because I'm, as my friends will tell you, I am sensitive and I will take all of that stuff and let it consume me and then put in all of these layers of self-doubt. And I don't think that's healthy as a writer. Especially as a pantser, I have to be in the zone, in the moment, and in order to pull together. And if I have that in there, this didn't work for this one person that I don't know who lives on the other side of the world, then I'm just shooting myself in the foot. Yep. So I got one. But I will say I had a friend the other day tag me in her review on Goodreads, and I went through and I noticed somebody had given me a 2-star review, but I did not actively seek that out, right? I did not.
But now you've seen it.
Came up right below my friend. I did not, but came up right below my friend's review. So I was like, oh God, what does it say? Fine. So, because you can't stop yourself when you're in that moment.
No, I wouldn't either.
No.
You're like, what did I do wrong? And literally the reviewer said, I think I'm just getting burned out on reading and I'm just gonna have to visit this book later. And they gave me a 2-star review. I'm like, how is that my fault? You're like, this looks really interesting. I'll read it later. 2 stars.
What?
The stars aren't supposed to be how far did you read it?
No.
I hope they finish it or read it at some point.
That's so funny. But I'm glad they didn't just
feel
rate
so much
it.
better. I was
Yeah.
It's not me.
No, it's not my fault.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, it's so awesome. I just find that hilarious. We all laughed about that before the thing starting. I didn't, and we've been watching the reviews come in, all the early reviews, and just been really impressed and really happy because I will tell you, we put Nicole through the ringer. And so hopefully she forgives us now.
That's not what everyone goes through. Wait a second. Should I feel more picked on than I do?
Oh, no. No, we treat all of our authors equally, and they all get the same amount of attention.
And love.
And love.
Well, love they do all get the same amount of. That's for sure.
Okay. All right.
That's definitely equal. I can't help it. You're all part of the crew. You're part of my crew.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, literally, we did. You are the crew. We are themed around here, around ships.
Yes, we are. It's awesome.
I am on stream. You brought me. Oh, there's tacos, guys. I've got tacos.
Tacos. It's Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Oh, I love it. It's perfect. We probably should talk about that. We actually talked. There's the food in this story was very confusing to me. Yeah. I'm wondering where did you pull the food from? Is that from Bora Bora too? Like some of it, I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
No. So I love other cultures, like food and their relationship to food and their like the climate. And so you will probably see where a lot of the influence came from if you know like Mongolian culture. So the food that is presented as being Audra's favorite food is mostly from Mongolian culture.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Actually, a lot of this book does have kind of a Mongolian feel to me, so that explains a lot.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Mongolia. I was just like, oh, she made that up. That's so cool. That's really cool. She's so creative.
Now that stuff comes from somewhere, but I actually like 3 years ago, I wrote this big epic Monkey King inspired fantasy romance.
Oh.
So I did a lot of research into Chinese cultures at the time, and then that led me to looking into Mongolian culture and then looking into different parts of Indian culture, and I've just reserved all of that information to dole out somewhere else or whenever I'm on like Jeopardy.
Well, that's the whole point with being a writer, right? Or being around writers, right? Anyone who has a writer friend, just know everything's being cataloged. Whether we want it to be cataloged or not. Is that 100%. True for you too?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, even if it's not on purpose, it's still being cataloged. It's all fuel for the books.
Yeah.
So one of the big things with this book being a romance is there are a lot of relationships and a lot of relationship dynamics, including same gender couples and characters that swing for both teams. Did that change how you wrote any of the romances?
No, it didn't. So, no, not at all. I have a lot of friends and family who are LGBTQ. And so to me, it's just part of my life. It's just, I didn't treat it differently because that's my, like, these are the people I love and these are their lives. And yeah, no, it didn't change it at all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It did feel natural in this world.
Yeah.
It definitely, you could tell there was no Christian influence. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely very natural about who they loved or who they didn't love.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I wanted it to feel to be. And I was really happy actually. So somebody tagged me in a review and it was a really good one, but they actually loved that part of it, that it was just organically part of the world. And like nobody, it was just natural. Like nobody,
like it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But then there are a few people who do not swing both ways, and there are people who do, and even though I want to. So
right. There's also
read that.
Well, it's still a caste system, right? So it's not complete freedom. There's definitely a caste system involved, at least with one of the cultures. So
yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes, actually with two of the cultures. But you'll get more of that in book 2.
And that comes into our TikTok keywords, force proximity and ooh.
I mean, it was fun for us. Keep forcing it. It's all good.
What are some of your literary influences? I mean, we talked a lot about the people that you've met, but what sort of books have you read that have really inspired you?
I love S.A. Chakraborty's City of Brass. I loved that the Devabad trilogy was lovely and phenomenal. Again, she gets into these her imagery of the world she creates is beautiful, and then the dynamic of the characters. And I loved those. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Lately, I've been reading a lot of like T. Kingfisher, which is not my normal jam at all because she's so cozy. Like she'll write these dark things, but then she gives it this poetic, cozy feel that you don't even realize you're reading decapitation. You're like, oh, but it came out so nicely.
Nettle and Bone was so good. One of my
Oh, good,
favorite
right?
books that I read the
Yeah.
last few months. Yeah,
My
so
goal is
good.
to read all of her books this year. I'm like,
Ooh,
I'm through the Paladin series. I'm just finishing up the Paladin series now.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Who else? Leah Bardugo, of course. I loved Leah Bardugo when that came out. V.E. Schwab. And then honestly, one of the things that got me back into writing, and I don't know if I should whisper this because I know he's kind of a controversial author, but I didn't know that. But anyway, it's the Nevernight series by Jay Kristoff. I don't know if you've read it.
Mm-mm.
It's
No, because I heard
dark.
about
Like
the
maybe it's a mistake.
controversy before the book, so hence I had not read it. No.
Okay, yeah, but so it's dark. For the people made the mistake of putting it in YA because it's a younger primary character, and then people were like, "Oh no, this
Ooh.
is not. This is not. You do not want your children reading this.
No.
Please, like, please move that along to the adult section." One of those, it's new adult, really. But Jay Kristoff's The Nevernight series, I loved the main character in that. Yeah, and I could go on. I don't know
Well,
when you
those are
want me
great
to
influences
stop.
Yeah.
and a lot of comparable kind of things, not doing the same thing you're doing, but invoking the same kind of emotions that you do. So that actually
Yeah,
makes sense to me. Hmm.
yeah.
And we say around here that if people like you, they will like the things that you write. So, what have you been watching recently?
Well, let's go back to that whole C-drama conversation. So there's a show. So the same writer who wrote Love Between Devil and Fairy, which you can watch on Netflix, by the way. And if you're not familiar with C-dramas, take it with a grain of salt because it'll take you a little while to get into it. It'll seem very cheesy at first, but there's a point to everything, and by the 7th episode, you'll be lost in it. But she also did. She also wrote this show Back from the Brink, which was great, and then The Legend of Shenli, which is about kind of basically a female general and like a demigod. It's great. Legend of Shenli, I believe, is available on Netflix. Those I've been rewatching lately, and my comfort show is a K drama. It's called Doom at Your Service. Doom at Your Service, which when my best friend passed away from cancer a few years ago, um, I like binged that show. And the opening scene is about a woman with a brain tumor who meets a god, right? So she's dying. He wants her to doom the world, and she's like, it's just this lovely, like kind of dark romance that it has some very real, poignant moments, and it's a lot of family dynamics. That's on Netflix. I highly recommend that. Doom at Your Service, and it is my comfort show. So I've got that like I've I've been watching that again off and on, like if I just need something to like chill me out, even though I know it's crazy. Oh, cancer. Yeah, Nicole, sure.
Cancer,
No,
the end of the world.
you're a
Yeah,
weirdo.
call me.
It's fine though. And then I started watching Reacher the 3rd season, but then I haven't finished it. And I'm really waiting for all the Daredevil episodes to be out
Yeah.
because I'll be way into that. And then Andor, of course, comes out the end of this month, which I'm super excited about.
So watching a little bit of everything.
I watch a lot of, yeah. I'm a
Do you have
consumer.
do you have any time for listening to anything between all of those watches?
Your podcast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
so I don't do as many podcasts as I used to. Usually, if I'm listening to podcasts, they're more like Podcastle or Escape Pod. They, stories, stories, which I really love. However, my two current favorite bands have albums coming out this month.
Ooh.
So they put out songs in the last few weeks. I don't know like how much you guys. I like metal. I like some dark music. I love punk rock. But currently, my two favorite bands are Ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know them. They are they put on amazing shows. I'm going to see them in July, and I'm super excited. They're coming back to the States. Yeah, Ghost is my like. I love them so much.
Are
Like,
they Canadian?
oh no, they're
I think so.
they like wear like full costumes. It is so dramatic and quirky. They throw in like this quirky humor. It's all very dark but kind of funny, which I love. Like, yes, I could just go
I'm
on and
starting to
on.
understand the drama in your writing. Okay, keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And then the other band is Sleep Token.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, they're kind of a niche. You will find them if you follow any like dark romance TikTok lovers. Their music is all over their their clips. Or yes,
Fascinating.
and I have my on some of mine too. But they
Mhm.
are also in costume. The lead singer's voice is very dark romance. It is, but it's classified as metal, but it's also like ethereal in places. Like it, I don't know, great vocals, and then it has these bursts of hard, crunchy metal.
Yeah, I'll have to put that on. I think probably when I was editing this book, probably had Evan's Blue on while we were doing that. And what have you been reading?
I'm working through the fourth novel of T. Kingfisher's Paladin series.
Yeah.
So that's been cozy and comforting at this point. And then I did finish last week. I finished the Bridge series by Danielle L. Jensen, who wrote last year. She wrote A Fate Inked in Blood, and I really love her writing style. And again, she does this slow burn, which I'm a fan of. I'm a big fan of slow burn and conflict, and yeah.
Yeah, there's
But it's
not
a
enough
really good.
slow burn. I'm
Oh,
glad that's what you chose for this story. That's because there's just not enough. It's a lot of it that gets spicy really quick, which by the way, I'm okay with too. But I like
Yeah.
variety in what I read. So it's
Mhm.
really nice to also have some high quality slow burns. So I do appreciate that.
and we went a little forward, a little. Kelly, what was the biggest copy editing quirk that you saw in the book? Do you remember seeing in the book?
I don't know that there was a big quirk. I mean, she has this with M dashes. That's totally wrong. But otherwise, I d- no, actually, that's not it. I just mentioned because earlier and it was funny. The the only thing was the point of views, right? So that was the
Yeah.
thing that we went back through. That was one of the big changes when I went through. So as I'm copy editing, I'm just supposed to be checking certain things, but I just couldn't help it because I felt that emotion. Like I said,
Yeah.
like I don't remember names, but I see books when I'm reading them. And
Mhm.
so yeah, because yours was one of the ones that when I'm reading it, I forgot I'm supposed to be editing, like, looking for commas. So I have to go back and do it again. And so some of the scenes I could see in my head, and I was like, but I was seeing it from a different perspective. And I was like, oh, that is so emotional. So I think the only thing I saw was just little difference in opinion over what POV, if like I was the director of the movie that I would have shot it from kind of thing. Yeah.
But you were right.
Well, that
She was
once. I
right.
get one. Yay. Because here's the
That's right.
thing, it's not about right, right? It's just a difference in opinion. And so you were willing to actually look at what opinion I was expressing
Mhm.
to see from that angle to decide whether it was more effective for you or not, right? Because if you'd said no, I would have been like, never mind, we're not publishing it, right? I just would have been like, that's okay. It's your book. If that's what you wanted, that's great.
No,
So
no, it did make the book, it made it stronger, which is what it needed. Yeah.
yeah, so I think that was the only thing. I didn't see a whole bunch. I think it's because it's the way that you write, right? Like, you have the
Yeah.
messy first drafts and you go through it. And because I was copy editing it instead of, doing the dev edit, because that was Sarah, right? She went through and
Mhm.
made the story gorgeous first. And
Mhm.
so since I was just copy editing it, it was pretty darn clean by the time I get to it. This is what happens when you have a hardcore professional copy editor do the dev editing. It's very clean by the time
Yeah.
you get it.
Because I know the copy editing quirk.
Exactly.
There was a whole discussion we had about when you can capitalize Western, because when you don't normally capitalize north, south, east, west, but we were also using it as like a proper
A
noun, and
people.
so we
Renowned,
could
yeah.
figure out when you could capitalize Western, and is it Westerner? Is it the Westerners?
Uh,
That's what the quirk was.
yeah, that's fair.
So who would like this book, Kelly?
Anyone who likes slow burn. So that is the reason I say it, because again, there's just not enough out there. So you have the romantasy, you have the hardcore emotional hits, and I don't mean slow burn as in this is a slow story. It's not. This baby moves. So it moves very quick. It has very quick pacing. There is multiple perspectives and third person. I
Yep.
really, really like that this is in third person too. I know people really like the first person, but I find that a very different kind of voice. And with third person, it gives you a lot more freedom to explore what's actually going on around the character also, not only in their head. So I love that kind of thing. So anyone who wants that third person, wider perspective, and wants that slow burn build, who really likes anticipation when they're, waiting up to something where you put that perfect bun, instead of throwing it in the microwave to cook it, you put it in the oven and just wait for it to like rise and cook. That person, that's who's going to love this book.
Perfect. All right. So if you like what you have seen today, if you like what Nicole is reading, go ahead, give it a buy. You can buy it anywhere books are sold. !book will bring up the link, or you can find us, just search Malice of Moons and Mages on Amazon, Kindle, Kobo, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles. Go to your local bookstore, and they will order it for you. When you are finished, please give us a review anywhere where you like to review things. It really does help us out and helps us get seen. Nicole, if people would like to see more of you, see where what else you're doing, and get exclusive behind the scene content, where can they follow you?
Oh Lord, I'm practically everywhere. You can find me on. I think I spend most of my time on TikTok, honestly. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky. It's either NV Haskell or NV Haskell.
The word or the letters, one way or the
Yes,
other.
the word of the letters. Yes.
And what is your website?
My website too. nvhaskell.com. Yeah.
There you go. And Miss Kelly and Colby, if anybody would like to see more of you, where could they see you?
Just put in Cursed Dragon Ship. We will come up. So I am all over on Cursed Dragon Ship.
And if you would like to see more of me, your gracious host, you can find me at Birdie25 on twitch.tv if you happen to be a Twitch watcher. Or you can reach out to me at ladybirdediting.com. That's got all my links to everywhere else. If
Great
you
editor, by the way. Great editor. Hire her.
100%.
If you are looking for editing services, I can help you. Kelly's too busy.
I am very busy. I can also help you, though.
But she can also help you. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that is our show for today. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you being here. And I think somebody's going to start some outro music now.